if you want to change the trajectory of your life, then you're going to have to start getting comfortable taking risks. You're going to have to start getting comfortable doing difficult and different things, right? Nothing changes if you follow the same trajectory. Nothing changes if you keep doing the same things that you're doing right now. It just goes in the same direction. But with that said, there are times when we act on certain ideas and we take certain risks that it can backfire. And afterwards, you're left with a range of different emotions: frustration, anger, sadness, embarrassment, you name it. I've been there myself. Not too long ago, I embarked on a work trip overseas in Canada. For those of you that don't know, I operate as a sports coach. And I went to do some football coaching out in Canada, working for a company in Ontario. And this opportunity came to me through my university, as I'm currently studying as well, when they brought in a bunch of companies that were looking for people to come over and help them over the summer. And I was really enticed by this company. I'd never done anything like that. I'd never worked outside of the UK or done anything of such scale. And I gave it a go, and I got everything prepared. My visa, police check, paid for all the flights myself, put a lot of money into it. And skipping all the fine details and all the crap things about what went on when I got there, the role was nothing like it was sold to be. You know, we weren't looked after at all by the boss. And there was a lot of money that went into that trip, a lot of time that went into the preparation to go and do that job. And I felt completely mistreated. And ultimately, I cut it short. I decided, you know what, this is not worth going against my morals and my values to stick around here and be treated like a bitch in no uncertain terms. That's the only word that I can think of that suits this particular narrative. So I remember going home feeling really embarrassed and a little bit ashamed. I told everybody that I'm going to go and do this thing, and there was no reason to think any other way than it was going to go right before I left, and everything seemed proper. It was something that my university had advertised, and everything seemed, all in all, pretty solid, pretty good. And I just felt embarrassed when I called it short. I mean, ultimately, it wasn't my fault. If you're paying your employees less than minimum wage, they've got a right to be upset. They've got a right to be frustrated. But I didn't like the feeling of going and doing something and not being able to follow it through. Whether it was my fault or not is kind of irrelevant, but I just didn't like that feeling. And there was a while after this happened that I considered it a failure, and I considered it a really negative experience. All in all, I suppose on paper it was a negative experience, but I actually look at it now as more of a positive experience because I learned a lot more from that negative experience than I have done a lot of positive experiences. You know, it taught me the kind of way that I don't want to live my life, the type of person that I don't want to become when I'm older, and that was modeled by the owner of the business. So I've got a lot to thank him personally for. You know, I look at him and I think, you know what, I don't want to be anything like that. I don't want to treat people in that way. I don't want to use people in that way and give people false hope and all of these different things. I also learned about, you know, one day how I want to conduct my business professionally. Again, it was modeled off of how I do not want to model my business one day. It told me about, in the short term, the type of place that I want to work. It told me a lot about that. So I walked away empty-handed within the material sense. Didn't walk away with the same money that I expected to walk away with. And I didn't walk away with the same work experience that I wanted or intended to walk away with. But I walked away with some really important lessons. And the message to you is that if you do not put yourself in a position to fail, you are going to neglect yourself of some seriously important lessons. We learn so much through failure. We learn so much through hardship and difficult times. But if you carry this scarcity mindset that doesn't even allow you to take risk, then you're going to miss a load of key information. You're going to miss a load of key events in your life that might get you to where you want to be quicker. You know, if you just play it safe and do what you know, keep it nice and easy, do you really think that you're going to make this big amount of progress? As opposed to if you take big risks. I'm reading a really good book at the moment. It's The Diary of the CEO by Stephen Bartlett. And I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially he writes within his book, based on studies of hundreds of successful business people and his own story himself, that those people who have a higher rate of failure within their business, or individuals who fail more, actually go on to be more successful in the future. And I want you to think about why that might be. Just take a minute, think about it. And now you thought about it, if you come to the same conclusion as me, you've figured out that more failure, in essence, means that you learn more. Because we do learn more from failure than we do victory. You know, normally when things go right, we learn that one particular thing worked. Take YouTube for an example. Maybe at some point in the future I post a video and that video does really well. I might have done one particular thing to make that video go really well. And I'll probably hear about that in the comment sections one day. But with failure, when things don't work out, and they don't go the way that you think they're going to go, there can be a million reasons. And because there's more reasons, there's more ways that you can improve. But it's so important. Put yourself in difficult positions. Put yourself in a position to fail, to embarrass yourself, to slip up, however you want to phrase it. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out on so much. If you just do the same all the time, nothing's going to change. Definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Look, I really hope that you've taken something from today, and going forward, you're going to take a little bit more risk. You know, if there's something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time, I don't want you to keep thinking about it. Keep sitting on it. Because the more time you procrastinate, and the more time you allow your head to start thinking and thinking and thinking and dissecting every single idea you have, the more opportunity you allow for fear to come in, and doubt, and all of these negative emotions that eventually will overpower the desire that you had in the first place. So if you have an idea, and it's nothing too crazy, then do it. Take the risk. If it goes wrong, like I said, there's a lot you're going to learn. But what if it goes right? As always, gents, thank you for your time and attention. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure to subscribe for more from me, and I will see you in the next one.